Hello, my name is Sydney, and today I'll be discussing the multicultural perspective on women and the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling is a term used to describe the barrier that women often have to overcome in order to achieve positions of leadership, either in the workforce or in politics. A prime example of this is when Hillary was running for the elections in 2016. She ran for president but was unsuccessful in the end. In order to break this glass ceiling, we must first inform the general populace about women in the glass ceiling, primarily in politics and other leadership roles, and how the barrier differs in other cultures compared to the United States. While progress has been made in many developing countries, women have to fight for their rights to lead and demonstrate their capabilities outside the home for decades and have made significant progress, but it differs in many cultures such as Australia and Sri Lanka. Diawis states in her article, although attitudes towards the women's role as homemakers are changing to being career people, only some women have made their approach to gradually climb the management and leadership ladders. As a society, we can begin to see this shift in how women are gaining momentum in the fight for equality around the world, even if it is small steps in the workforce. As a woman, I have very big stakes in how and when the glass ceiling is broken, primarily in politics due to the fact that I would like a leadership position within the criminal justice system when I am older. As a stakeholder, it is imperative that I speak out on the subject due to the fact that I want to have an equal chance to achieve my dreams as the people of the opposite sex have. However, I am an advantage in comparison to many other women around the world solely based on the country that I live in. When comparing Sri Lanka and Australia to the United States of America, one is easily able to observe the progress that has been made in each country and is also able to see what can still be achieved. In order to showcase the divide between these countries, I will be presenting the gaps in women in politics over the next few minutes and showing the room for advancements in less developed countries when compared to the United States. First, we must ask ourselves, why are there so many barriers for women in leadership positions? First, let's look at the United States of America, supposed land of the free, a place for everyone regardless of sex and ethnicity to achieve their dreams, or so they say. According to the peer-reviewed source from Darcy, Welch, and Clark, published in 1994, a great country that is the United States of America presents structural barriers that, most notably the incumbency of advantage, inhibit the electoral opportunities and limit the pace at which previously excluded groups can make gains. This means that once people of the country find a group to be unfit to lead, such as women, it is extremely difficult to change their mind. The historical inaccuracy has made it so that women have an unimaginable amount of difficulty getting into politics. In other words, even the United States of America, where people perceive it as equal opportunity for all, women are barred from being able to gain the favor of the public, of the government, to be elected into leadership positions. Another well-developed country that can be examined is Australia. In terms of women rising to power, Australia is doing an amazing job due to the fact that they are at the forefront of the movement. Talfaga wrote, although women have made some progress, reaching 50% of representation in mid-ranked roles, they remain underrepresented at top ranks. In order to support this claim, the article published in 2015, it combs through the fact that Australian women have moved from the bottom tier into higher ranks within leadership. However, they're still vastly underrepresented within the higher ranks. While this is a lot better than other countries, it is still not as high as it should be, and there is still significant room for improvement. In contrast, one can direct their attention to lesser developed countries such as Sri Lanka, where women are just now breaking through the stereotypical housewife lifestyle and slowly incorporating themselves into workforce and leadership. Published in 2013, the works by Diawis state women take up only 1% of boardroom seats in this country, compared to the 13% in Australia, 8% in China, and 5% in India. Again, we see how little Australia's percentage is, but it is still so much greater than Sri Lanka's at 1%. It is pitiful that Australia, the country perceived to be admirable in this forefront movement, it's still only at 13%. Now, as I was discussing earlier, Sri Lanka only has 1% of women in boardroom seats, and women take up 50% less of the workforce in Sri Lanka as well, which is illustrating how developmentally deficient many of the third world countries are. But they are slowly working towards breaking the barrier. Looking at the strides that have been made in terms of women in leadership are huge, yet there is so much room for improvement. With the assistance of changing perceptions of women, there will soon be equal representation. When looking for cultures from around the world, one can observe a trend of men holding high positions of power rather than women. However, the trend is beginning to show an increase in leadership in women populations in both developed and developing countries. The capability of women are boundless and full of potential of their capabilities in leadership positions. But in order to see how they can lead society's progression, the glass ceiling must be shattered.